Mr. Rainwater, if you would like, we could go. We could travel over to Rhodes and see what's happening over there. I'm not much in city life, so I'm trying to get a grasp on it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I'm not much into these old city places either, so we could strike out that way if you would like.
Okay, you can just follow me. I know a way to get there. So I would just like to. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I am not one that typically takes too kindly to strangers, so to speak.
Yeah, it's nice to meet your acquaintance there too, Mr. Redhawk. Like I said, I'm pretty much a loner myself in the line of work I've retired from.
What kind of work would that be?
Well, I grew up in the south part of the country and actually enlisted into the army at an early age. And then I took up the job being a bounty hunter. It was a pretty hard job to do. A lot of troubles you could come across. It was a dangerous job, but I made do with it. Caught a lot of bandits in my time serving as a bounty hunter.
I heard that pays quite handsomely.
Well, it all depends on what you think is good pay. Like I said, considering the things that you go through and the trials of it, you know, some were better than others, but like I said, that's all behind me now. I'm just trying to live a peaceful life, just being my own man, doing my own thing.
Yes, when I was young, the army came in to take our land, force us to move, and my tribal elders, they just laid their weapons down and chose not to fight and took what was offered to them. And ever since then, I have lost much respect for my people.
Well, I guess I could probably understand that.
So at a very young age, I have pretty much lived on my own, living off the land. I am not one that understands the need to work these so-called jobs and just to make money to give it to someone else.
Yeah, it's always better to be your own man, especially in these times and days here.
I mean, look beside us here, this huge farm. Someone is making lots of money at the expense of having many people that they pay a very small amount.
Yeah, I reckon you're right about that.
Just a shame. I have learned to depend on nature to provide for me and everything that it has. And I'm just not very comfortable with the idea that I have to make money in order to give someone else that profit.
Yeah, that is true, but you know, the way the world is evolving and everything, I mean, looking back on my 60 years of being here on this earth, that, you know, money, you gotta have money these days, that's for sure. I mean, like that horse you're riding there. I don't know about you, but mine here, I had to buy it, paid a handsome fee for it, but He's a very he was a good purchase. This is just probably the best horse I've ever owned in my whole life of owning horses.
Yes,
He's a pretty good boy. I like him. He likes me.
this horse I have here, he is the first horse that I've ever purchased, and I had struggles to make him work and comply the way that I need him to, because the horse was already trained and is not trained in the manners that I am used to training a horse to.
I really don't know why I did that. I was just seeing if didn't mean to do that, Mr. Redhawk.
Well, that just goes to prove my point to you that if I had not established in this horse the training that I know is right, then you might have succumbed to a pretty grave injury, because the horses that are trained by the people you buy them from nowadays have a very low tolerance. My horse is trained to stay with me as long as possible.
Well, my opinion on horses, if you don't train them to yourself, then you don't establish that bond and trust between the animal and you. It's like I've bought a few horses through the years, but the best horses I ever come across were the ones that I've actually come across out in the prairies. Lassoed myself, tamed them down. But, you know, those days are probably behind me since I've gotten up in age and all that. Training a horse is a hard job too.
It's a very difficult job, because you don't only train the horse to respect you, but you have to respect the horse. It takes a lot of physical and mental endurance to be able to take a wild creature and turn them into something that is an extension of your physical being.
Well, Mr. Redhawk, if you don't mind me asking, you speak of this tribe. Where's your tribe? Where did y'all originate from? What part of this country did y'all come from?
We lived for a long time at the mountains that they now call Mount Shan. That was the name that your people gave it. We protected it and thrived there, and we called it the mountain that gives. Once your people found that there were riches to be had inside the belly of the mountain, then they brought their army to force us to leave so that they could take all of the gold and the riches.
Yeah, I've always heard there was gold up there in them hills, up in the mountains that you could mine and get out, but
Yes.
I can't recall I've ever been up there that much. I think maybe one or two times in passing, looking for bandits and outlaws.
Yes, one of the old mining caves now is typically a hideout for these bounties that you talk of, that you search. But I will say that a lot of these outlaws that utilized that cave as a hideout are not prepared for all that nature will throw at them once they enter that cave.
Well, Mr. Redhawk, being of the descent that you are, I would suppose you're pretty good at tracking. That's like animals and people, and pretty good tracker, I would assume.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I was at a very young age when my people gave up our land I totally disapproved of their decisions and had to learn at a very quick pace how to take care of myself while out in the wilderness. When you talk of being a bounty hunter, have you given up that lifestyle?
Well, it was a job, you know. Like I said, it had its ups and downs at times, especially when you were going after a big band of outlaws. Going in at it solo was a pretty tough task that anyone could ever take upon themselves, but caught some well-known people it was good to catch them. I think it made a better lifestyle for the people around these areas.
So you say that you have mostly kept to yourself. Have you, did you have any friends or acquaintances that would assist you, or did you mostly do everything on your own?
For the most part, everything was solo. There was a few little ventures that I had to ask for some help, and there was a couple guys that I would rely on. I haven't seen them fellers in a long time. I'm just tagging along, just riding through the country.
This will be quite a ride to where we are going.
Well, like I said, I don't have anything on my schedule. I'm just traveling through here, and like I said, come across you. And seems to be like a good thing. You know, riding solo at times, it can be a lonely thing out here in a wide open range. So having somebody to talk to besides yourself that's been a pleasure.
Yes, I do agree. I spend the majority of my time by myself out in nature, hiding away from everything. And this is quite a new adventure for me to have someone riding along. There's
Sure seems to be a lot of game around these parts.
Oh yes, indeed. It's all about how you travel. Most of the people I see nowadays are in a hurry to get to where they're going. But if they slow down just a little bit, there's no limit to what you can discover.
That's one thing my pa always told me when I was a little boy growing up. Don't live your life too fast, and live in the moment.
And my people, they farmed, but they did not farm on the scale that it seems your people farmed. They farmed to supply for the tribe. They did not farm for profit.
Well, you could say that times are changing, but that's most certain.
I do agree. That is why I chose to come out of the wilderness to see what these towns and cities are like and what it is to expect, because I know I must adapt to the new ways. But I can say that there's nothing more peaceful than being out here in nature.
Yes, it certainly is a beautiful day out here today.
But it's been quite nice. Um, having a companion to travel with. As you said earlier, times are changing. Things are moving faster, requiring money and things like that. And I know that I cannot depend on me being by myself. That I have to start depending on the trust of others. And I have to put that same trust in them.
Yeah, I've spent many a lonely nights by myself out here on these open prairies. More than I can count on my hands and foes.
I do understand that. It has just been very recent that I have chosen and realized that I need to start understanding these new ways of people in this new country.
Yeah, what you just said, same country, but it's a new one.